Hey, welcome. So, we're with my buddy Troy, who's one of my favorite yoga teachers here in Manly. We are at the beautiful freshwater massage, letting us use this amazing space. So thanks, Mick and Esty. And Troy and I surf a lot together. I am terrible for doing any form of warm-up on the beach whatsoever. I just get straight out there. Talk me through what we should be doing on the beach.
Well, I thought what we'd do is you get to the beach, we were saying in the other videos, let's say you're surfing at 6, you probably wake up quarter two, you get there and the waves are pumping and you're frothing, you just want to get out there. But there's a really nice factor of just taking 5 minutes, just 5 minutes to move a little bit, 10 if you've got it, 15 if you're being generous. But from 5 minutes, just getting your body moving before you just rush out and get out there will calm you down, it'll open up your body and you'll be more ready to do it, right? I think of the main things that I need to move, and I just want to get my spine a bit lubricated and warm. If you've done your morning kind of joint mobility, you're already a step ahead. But even if you haven't, you can still go surfing, obviously. Most of us are spending most of our life going to the beach and surfing without doing anything, so this is an upgrade at the very least. So let's say you've gotten to the beach and you go, okay, I'm going to take 5 minutes and just get myself moving. What I would tend to do, I'll just come onto my hands and knees, and I'm just going to let myself move around a little bit. And this is just explorative. I want to feel how my hips have woken up. I want to notice how my shoulders are. I want to kind of move my head and neck around. That'll give me a little bit of insight. Down dog is going to be a good place. So my hands, let's say they're in the sand. I'm just going to lift my hips back. And this will give me some insight into my shoulders. So I want to feel that I can press into my hands, do a couple of circles with my shoulders, move my hips. I'm not trying to get any huge stretch. I'm just feeling my body out. Now I want to get my legs warm. So I'm going to lift my right leg up, and I like to do it when I inhale. And I'm going to start to pump knee to chest as I breathe out. I'm lifting and I'm tightening into my belly. I'll do 3 of them. Up, forward.
Tiger curls.
Yep. Up on the in. Tiger curl on the breath out. Now I'm going to step to my thumb, and I'm just going to start to do a little bit of lunges and pyramids. So I'm going to arch my back and pull forward. I'm really working my right heel, opening the chest. I'm going to pull back. I'm really working my back heel, folding over my front leg. Again, the inhale pulls me forward. I'm warming the hips. Pull back, exhale. Again, in. Out. And then I'll come forward again. I'll bring my back knee down. And I'm going to take my right hand to my hip. Left arm's going to reach up. I'm going to try to let my right hip be sinking deeper down. And I'm just going to side bend. So I'm reaching my left arm over towards the right side. And this feels great in the whole left sideline, the front of the hip. You hold it for, as I always say, there's not a set number of breaths, but you want to try to hold it until it releases a little bit. Let's say it's 3, maybe 5 breaths. So we'll do one more in. And exhale, and you'll bring your left hand back down to the ground. This is one of my favorite stretches. It's not going to work in every body, but you can modify it. So you'll turn your right toes out. I'm going to let my knee drop out to the side. At the very least, see if you can twist and bring your right hand back behind you. So my hips are sinking. I've got a good opening into my right butt cheek. If I can go further, I'm going to bend the left foot and I'm going to grab a hold of it. This is an awesome quad hip flexor stretch, and I'm peeling my chest open. I'm drawing my shoulders onto my back. I'm actively pulling my butt towards my right heel. I'm actively pulling my back heel towards my butt. I'm spiraling open. I'll stay here for a good long time. Maybe 5 breaths, 10 breaths, 15 breaths. So I've just done that little bit of warming into the hips so that my body receives the stretch more. Let's say we get one more inhale. A long exhale, I'll release that foot back, and I'm going to pull my hips back into a gentle kind of half hamstring stretch. I like to curl my toes back, and one of the myths is you definitely don't need to straighten your leg. Like Lexi, she has a good flexibility in her hips, so she can straighten her leg. You don't have to. But even if you have a bent knee, lock that direction of your knee, and imagine someone's grabbing your thigh bone and they're twisting it to the right, and they're twisting it to the left. So you'll see your foot will move. Yeah, like you're just kind of turning and you're just exploring. So your hamstrings are a complex collection of a few muscles, and you want to kind of go, okay, what happens when I turn out? What happens when I turn in? Find the spot that feels like, ooh, that's a bit interesting. Stay with it. Breathe. So you want to try to find that you can breathe calmly, smoothly. Now we just went for a surf this morning, so I'm going to stay here a couple of minutes. This feels fantastic. There was some surfing happening today, and there's a lot of paddling happening today. You just have a breath out. And then you'll come forward, you plant your hands, and you just step back into a down dog. Now you can add little bits. You know, in the vinyasa practice, we do high planks. You'll inhale to come forward. You'll exhale into kind of a low plank, halfway down. You'll come into an arch, cobra, or an upward facing dog. Chest peels open. This is just nice to move through the body, and you'll pull back and down as you breathe out. Let's do the left side. So you're gonna lift your left leg up when you breathe in. We'll do it 3 times. A tiger curl. Knee to chest. Come forward. Try to tighten your belly and lift your hips high. 2 more. Up. Forward. 1 more time. Up. Forward when you breathe out. Step to your thumb. Come onto fingertips. So you're going to pull forward. I'm actively pulling with my left heel, opening up my chest. Pull my butt back, fold over my front leg. Mild pyramid. Again, I'm warming. Forward when you breathe in. So you're activating the back line of your left leg. Pull back when you breathe out. I'm activating the front of my right leg. 1 more time. Forward, you breathe in. Chest peels open, shoulders back. Hips go back and you fold when you breathe out. Cool. Now come forward and breathe in. Bring your back knee down. You can bring your left hand to your hip. Right arm's gonna go up. So we're gonna take the side bend first. You got it. Tighten into your belly. Hips sink down.
Water coming out.
Nasal drip. That's proof of the surf. Start to arch over to the left. I'm surprised I actually haven't gotten it. Now I have long arms and short legs, so I can bring my hand down to the ground. You don't have to. The idea is that I'm feeling a stretch into the right side of my body and maybe a little bit into the front of my hip. I like to straighten the upper arms. Just feels really, really nice.
This feels so nice in your hip flexor.
Mm-hmm. Let's go 1 more breath in. And then exhale, bring your right hand to the floor in front of you or the sand if you're there. Turn your toes out a little bit. This protects the knee. Drop your knee out, and then your left arm's gonna do a big circle around. As Lex has done, if you can, you grab hold of the foot. And then even thinking of turning, grabbing the outside of your foot more. Yes, so that'll open up into the chest. And she's gonna pull her heel to her butt. Hips are gonna sink towards her front heel, and I want you to bring your right shoulder back towards me. So there's an opening up through the chest, and all that's gonna accent the opening into the front of the back hip. Even if you can't grab hold of your foot, there's still a lot of value here, but you're peeling and cracking the chest open. You're opening up the heart. You're sinking into your hips. Breathe until it feels like it's relaxing a little bit. You don't wanna just come into it and hold for a couple breaths, not thinking that there's any value. You wanna, maybe one side costs you 5 breaths, one side is 2, doesn't matter. Let's say we've been here long enough. You take a breath in and you release your back foot when you breathe out. Turn your toes forward again. And you're gonna pull your hips back and fold over your front leg. You don't have to flex your toes back towards your face. This just gives you a lot more value of the stretch in the back of your left thigh and hamstrings. I like to turn my legs side to side and just feel what needs it. So for me, not a whole lot of sensation, a little bit more, there we go. The inner hamstrings are feeling it, so I'm gonna have a little bit of rolling of my thigh bone in. Are you feeling it? Yeah, and then notice you're lifting your head so let your head totally drop. And for a lot of us as surfers, we crank into the neck. So letting yourself have flexion of the neck where your body just drips down is gonna be really, really beneficial pre-surf. Shoulders can relax. You're casually sneaking your heart forward when you breathe in, and you're casually turning your butt cheeks back when you breathe out. Front leg does not need to get straight. Let's stay for 1 more breath in. 1 more breath out. You'll pull forward back into this lunge. Plant your hands, step into a down dog. Let's go through 1 more little flow. So you're gonna pull yourself into high plank. You'll exhale to keep going to low plank. Now activate your back, shoulders back, cobra or up dog. Both are acceptable. Chest is broad. And come into down dog when you breathe out. Cool? Now I'll walk my feet up to my hands. Take my feet wide. I'm gonna grab my elbows and dangle. If you are open already in the shoulders, interlacing your hands behind you is great because the shoulders are gonna be working. And just let yourself sway a little bit. Head can sway side to side. Yeah, I get my upper back right here. Cool, and then you can drop your hands down.
I just want to stay here.
Yeah, you can stay there. So I come up and I'm gonna come into a horse stance. And so for me, I turn my toes out, I just bring my hands onto my thighs, and this kind of lets me roll through the shoulders a bit. And it also preps where I'm gonna go next, because now my hips are warm, my spine is warm. This gives me a bit of traction to the spine. And this just kind of settles my hips. I'm gonna squeeze my hips together. And I just like a little bit of a dynamic routine before I actually paddle out. So from here, I'm gonna use my arms. I just like to twist. So I'm gonna sort of come into a lunge and just twist myself over towards the left. Left foot is forward. Then I'm gonna come back to the front. I'm gonna twist myself to the right. And so I'm coming up a little bit and I'm thinking surfing. So there's a little bit of a flow into it. I'm dipping my right knee as I come to the left. I'm dipping my left knee as I come to the right. I'm letting my spine warm up. I'm letting my legs warm up. My ankles are getting a bit of mobility.
I've got no mobility or balance today.
Yeah, well, we've already surfed. And you think you're in the sand, you start to dig down. And Lex was saying in one of the other videos, you can also train yourself. If you think of you're coming into, so I'm regular, so my back foot's gonna be my right foot. When I'm twisting to the left, I can focus on letting my thumb lead the way and pretend that I'm actually coming into a turn. Same thing, not that I'm gonna necessarily be opening, front side, but if I'm going backside, I can do the same thing with my backhand. And so you train yourself to do that. So you do that, I do that 10, 15 rounds. The last thing I'll always do, twist. I love a twist. Most of us have a really tight low back. The twist that I like best, lying on my back, crossing my legs, moving my hips a little bit to the right, dropping knees over to the left.
My favorite's twisted roots.
Yep, twisted roots, awesome for yin. I want to make sure that my right shoulder comes down. I'm going to actively push right shoulder down. I'm going to try to press the back of my hand into the sand. You don't have to fight for more of the twist. If you want more, push your hips towards the ocean. So usually you're, kind of facing the ocean. Push your hips away from your head. And this just opens up into the low back quite a bit. So you can do this 5 breaths, 10 breaths. I say stay until it gets more relaxed. You'll come back to center. You'll swap sides. So hips move left, left thigh crosses, knees drop over to the right. I'm gonna just move this little mic pack. And again, if your shoulders are up, it's a good indication your chest is tight. A lot of us have tight chests. So I'm gonna actively push my left shoulder down, push my left elbow down, push my left hand down. I'm not worried about twisting more. Body's not designed to twist too much, but I can press my left hip forward a bit and get a bit more length through the left side body. This feels incredible.
I want to stay here.
I know. But remember, the waves are pumping, so you don't want to stay here that bad.
Oh yeah, true. I'm impatient.
And then if you even want to go a little bit dynamic, you can kind of come back to center and just straighten your right leg out to the left, come back, straighten your left leg out to the right. You do that a few times. The good news is when you do this on the sand, it tends to be a slope, and so you find yourself getting closer and closer to the water as you do it.
Giving yourself a hole.
Yeah. And then when you're ready, you're primed, you come up, get your board, you go out, paddle.
Sweet.
So that's 5-7 minutes, and your body's at least warm, and you've gotten yourself acclimated to having a bit of movement. You can obviously do more if you have the time. More is better. I think it's Jay Lopez. He does something like 2 hours of yoga every morning before he goes surfing or snowboarding. If you have that kind of time, rock on. If you don't, a few minutes is better than 0.
Sweet.
Cool.
Thanks, Troy.
Pleasure. Now go surf.
Hopefully that helps everyone before they go surfing and less injuries and more waves.
Let us know.
Cool.
Cheers.